my voice booms, but not so elegantly. So, I love your, I always think it's important to ask people their story.
Yes.
You know, how'd you get here?
Yes.
And so, you're working with Dave Ramsey, you guys are the third largest radio show in America. The Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, the Dave Ramsey team. Okay, you're off and on with Dave. You travel the country, you're very well known. How did you get here?
Well, I can tell you first and foremost, the reason I'm with Dave is because of my better half, my wife.
Amen.
I don't know about you all, yeah, but I married up. Guys, did you marry up?
Yeah, you do.
There you go. That's a softball pitch. If your hand ain't up, you're going to have a problem. But I married up. My wife had wanted me to go meet Dave, and I told her, I said, okay, hon, why don't I just go down there and knock on his door, right? And so we ended up going to a charity function called Raceworks, and they were auctioning off an opportunity to sit in on Dave's show. And so it's to help families that are in need and things of that nature. Well, my wife stalks this thing at a silent auction like a linebacker.
Yeah,
which I love that about her. She's tenacious. And wins this thing and says, now go meet the man. And literally that was the catalyst that Dave and I met, and we had a few conversations. And about the third meeting, he said, why don't you come help us do this?
And did you think he meant come work for him, or like, hey, help me figure this out?
Yeah,
like,
he knew I was doing some banking things at that time. And so when he said it that way, I knew he was talking about come to join the mission.
I love it.
And that was the beginning, and have been there for 10 years.
So what is the takeaway from this?
Listen to your wife.
Listen to your wife. All my husband and tell me. So before we get started talking about retirement, I want just, for those that don't know the Dave Ramsey philosophy, and I just kind of love it, his whole thing is, debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid off home mortgage is taking place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Right? That's the philosophy.
That's right.
But just give the big picture view of why that matters, that mentality.
Well, I think what we figured out is when people change their thought process and then they change their habits, they can change their outcomes. And so what we're focused on is hope. We want people to kind of look at it and understand you have things that you're more in control of than you're aware of. And so we want people to start to understand the reality of debt. That slows you down. It's a dream to turn. And if we can get people to wake up to start to look at that, we can stop building the credit card industry, their legacy, and start building our own.
I love that. Stop building, and nice. It's the same thing with our country.
Yes.
Start building the American legacy instead of building all our nations that own our debt. And it is, you know, you talked about the debt slowing down the dream, and here we are at the American Dream Summit, and I think the debt of our nation, we talk about the American dream fading away, and I don't believe that, but I do think the government has become inhibiting people being able to do that, and part of it is because we have so much debt. So you see it both is for individuals and for our nation. So going to retirement, how many of you all just want to retire one day? I mean, anyone? No. Who's not raising their hand? Okay, so, but I think the way Chris talks about retirement, I love to work, and I don't even feel like I work at my job, but I think it's very interesting. How many of you, and I have a lot of people in my life that feel that they have, quote, paid into the system, they have worked their whole lives, they gave it over to Social Security and Medicare, and that is their retirement. And what do you think about that as an approach?
Well, I think number one, I think it's dangerous to rely on a government that has proven it can't count. But so I think one of the things we have to understand is the goal of Social Security actually came into play after the Depression, and it was meant to set up as a safety net for people to help them have a cushion if they were to lose their job or become sick as they entered into the golden stages of their life. And I think one of the things we've forgotten is that it's supposed to be the icing on the cake. It's not supposed to be the cake. And as we look at this, and it even says that as you look at what Franklin Roosevelt wrote, is that the goal of Social Security was to supplement what people had already done for themselves or what companies had done for them.
You all know, did you realize that? It was better. How many of you know people that just think, no, I have my Social Security coming in and I'm going to take care of myself? Yeah.